Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here, welcome. White Label Armory, which is a subsidiary of Vector Industries. I've had some Vector products, VKTR, Vector products on the channel before. Well, White Label Armory has come out with a brand new suppressor line, or lines, plural as it were. Two of them being the Party Popper and Hot Link. These are little tiny titanium 22 cans. They also have the Geist and the Phoenix series, which are 5.56, 30 cal, or 9mm cans, depending on what you get. But today we are going to be talking about these little cute guys right here. So let's get into it. So it didn't make much sense to me to make two videos on very similar, nearly the same cans with the exception of length. So you're getting a twofer today.
Usually you pay double for that kind of action cotton.
So let's start out with a couple of quick specs about these. There's actually not much to say about them because they are just a one-piece titanium can, each one, and so there's not a whole lot of baffles to go through and stuff like that as far as disassembly and whatnot. This being the Party Popper, it is 3 inches long and 1.7 ounces. This being the Hot Link, which is 2.6 ounces and 5 inches long. And they are some of the greatest names in the suppressor industry I've ever heard. So they are both black Cerakoted, and you can see the baffle lines there in each one. This one having like 4 baffles in it. This one having, I think, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, this one has 9 baffles. This one has 4 baffles in it. And they perform quite well, and I do know, I'm not oblivious to the fact that there are other small diameter, one-piece cans on the market, but there is no such thing as enough cans on the market. Speaking of small, they're both also 1 inch in diameter, and they are both direct thread only. Obviously, at this small, you're not going to be getting hub-compatible stuff. But direct thread, 1/2 by 28, 1 inch in diameter. And as similar as these two are, I do think that they both serve very different purposes in the real world. Or before we get to that, let's get into some testing. They're both very quiet. I've run CCI quiet, I've run CCI clean, and I've been running a bunch of Remington Golden Bullet through these. I did a point of impact, point of aim shift with both of them because suppressors tend to have an effect on that. So let's get into what that looked like. All right, point of aim, point of impact test. I do this for every suppressor. We're going to be using CCI clean for this. So I'm going to do 5 rounds with no muzzle device at all, and then 5 rounds with the Party Popper to start with. So, did that chamber? Okay. I have had also nothing but problems with the CMMG 22 long rifle conversion kit. All right, there's those 5. And here is the next 5. All right, now the next 5 or next 10 will be same test, but with the Hot Link. All right, no muzzle device, Hot Link. Or no muzzle device, then Hot Link. All right, 5 more with the Hot Link. All right, let's go down and check that out. All right, this is the first 5 with the Party Popper. I had 1 low, no muzzle device. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Same point of aim. So the Party Popper seemed to spread my group out just a little bit here, and then Hot Link with no muzzle device. Had this flyer up here. Had a very similar flyer over here. But I have actually tighter tighter shots here. None of them actually hit the black except for here and here. But there doesn't seem to be a whole lot of point of impact shift with the hot link. There does seem to be a little bit of spreading out of the group with the party popper. However, the takeaway is that they're both very quiet. All right, the party popper. Nice and quiet. I should note that I am recording this portion of it with the lever action for the party popper and the hot link with just the onboard microphone for the camera, not my normal lapel mic, because that microphone picks up like everything. A little quieter. The hot link. Now I know that gas blowback isn't a big thing with 22s, but since I ran these a lot on an AR, I figured I'd talk about it a little bit, and I didn't really notice anything. Again, I know it's not a big thing usually with 22s, but it was worth mentioning. I know you guys have been lying to your wives forever on what 3 inches actually looks like. This is what 3 inches actually looks like. This being, of course, the party popper. It's run really well. The can has run really well on this. The CMMG 22 long rifle conversion kit hasn't run all that well, but the can has run really well on this. And even in a semi-automatic rifle, I'll hear cracks downrange with the, with the high velocity stuff, the stuff that's not subsonic. I'll hear the cracks downrange, but really all I hear is this action moving back and forth when I'm shooting it in real time. I know that microphones aren't necessarily the best at picking some of that stuff up. So while this is just my opinion, I do think that these two cans have a very specific place in the industry as far as the two go. Again, even though they are very much the same with the exception of length. I think if you're shooting competitions with a rifle or a pistol, I think that this party popper is a phenomenal can to go with. It adds so little length that it's sort of laughable. It adds so little length, and of course, being only 1.7 ounces, you're not adding a whole lot of end swing weight and stuff like that to your firearm. The 5-inch hot link, I do think, has a better hunting application for 22s. I have it on my lever action Daria here. This, of course, being my home built AR. But I think that this has a better hunting application, and I think this has a better sporting or competition application. Now, of course, the downside, some people may not see it as a downside, but the downside to these types of cans from any manufacturer is that they're not user serviceable in the sense that you can, take them apart and clean each piece and all that other stuff. So being 22, and being a very dirty round, these are some of those kinds of cans that you have to soak or spray out and spray out and soak and spray out in order to make sure you get all the carbon out of them. Let's get into price. And to the YouTube censors, I'm not selling these. I'm not selling any regulated goods, and I'm not promoting the sale of any regulated goods. I am just informing the viewer for educational purposes of what these commonly cost right now, just for their information if they decide to go out into the world and get something like this. That's all. So the party popper, the little 3-inch guy, this thing comes in at $3.99, not a bad price. And the bigger cousin to it, the hot link, which is 5 inches long, comes in at $50 more at $449. Still, not a bad price for either one of these. So for full transparency, I am a fan of Vector Industry stuff. I think they make some of the highest quality stuff in the industry, and don't get nearly enough credit for the things that they provide to the industry that they do. So I'm hoping that in the future, as they expand into this territory of suppressors and into the White Label Armory, the White Label Armory side of Vector Industries, that we see the same things. These things have been great. I've been shooting them for a few weeks now on pistols, on the lever action, and on that semi-automatic, and they've been great. All right, that's it. Pretty simple. Nice cans, good company, affordable price. What more can you ask for? White Label Armory doesn't stop at just cans. They have parts and all that other stuff. And of course, always check out Vector. Great stuff there as well. I appreciate you guys watching to the end. You guys that are here at the end are the heroes of the channel. I appreciate you guys very much. Thank you to everybody who does watch. Thank you to White Label Armory, Vector Industries for sending those cans out to the channel. And we'll talk to you later.